Today, we're going to talk about something that I really like to talk about. Actually, this is the first time to talk about it in a webinar, but this is the core of Educast. This is where Educast started. It's a podcast. So today we're going to talk about podcasting for pedagogy, maximizing the benefits of digital audio learning in teacher education. So this is Mo from Educast International. Um, and again, I'd like to express myself today with this emoji. So in the chat box, I'd like to know what this emoji express for you. What do you think? How do you think I feel now? Enthusiastic. That's right. Right, Mr. Ron. So where are the rest? Over the moon? Maybe? Okay, delighted. Very good, happy and surprised. Yes, that's right. Impressed and sympathetic, right? Maybe lucky? Well, I don't believe in luck. I believe in hard work. Excited? That's right. Yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, actually, guys, it's a mixture between being happy and excited because I'm really honored to be with all of you here today. So in the chat box again, I want you to express yourselves using just one emoji. How are you feeling now? Okay, this one with sunglasses. Okay, so Raga and Dahab were the only ones. We're just waiting for the rest. Okay, Mrs. Hagar, yeah, she looks sick today. And this is Mark, my friend from Syntax Solutions, our partners, with Educast International. I'm really honored to have you here, Mark. Hind, she's happy. Mr. Ayman is looking, yeah, looking like this. Okay, very good. Yeah, Miss Marwe is happy. Miss Ella is happy too. Very good. Great. Okay, that's a wonderful start. So, guys, this is me. Actually, this is my picture. It was, last year. I nothing changed at all. Yeah. So I think you can see 5 circles around my picture. And inside each of these circles, something that is related to me. So I just want you to think about all of these things in the circle. For example, the first one, global challenges. So what do you think this tells you about me? Global challenges. Yes, Ms. Marwa, yes, it's the conference. Since you were one of the presenters of this conference. Yes, actually, it might sound like a one-man show. It might, it might look like this conference was put together by only me. Yes, I started the idea by myself, but I had a wonderful team helping me, and Mark was one of them, and Dr. Van Moraine. I was very lucky to be working with him and a wonderful team, including Raga. She's here and many other, inspiring examples of young teachers. Yes, not the challenges because my life is full of challenges, yes, but Global Challenges is my first international conference, and it won't be the last one. Okay, let's move to the podcast. What does this tell you about me? I'm looking at the chat box. I'm waiting. And I can see many familiar faces. Yes, Mrs. Nasreen. Yeah, your start. Yes, actually, it was the start of Educast, one of the activities of the platform. Yes, that's right. Actually, guys, again, as I said before, the podcast, Educast podcast, was the start of Educast. It's something really close to my heart. Actually, now we have more than one podcast, and I'm gonna tell you all about that today. But yes, the interviews you have recorded. Yes, that's right. I've had, many interviews for my podcast. Okay, what about the third one? Refugee Ed. What does this tell you about me? It's not an event. Not many people know this about me or about, what I do with Refugee Ed. So I'm just, looking at the chat box, waiting for the people to drop their ideas in it. You're a consultant there. I'm not a consultant there, but yeah, it's some kind of voluntary work. It's an organization, a British organization that is based in Greece, and they help train teachers to teach refugees. And also the teachers are from from different countries. They are refugees. So yes, I'm an educational expert there, and I'm a community teacher trainer and mentor. That's right. Okay, what about the fourth one? And no one will ever make it right here. Yeah. What about the sixth? That's right. It's a new grade challenge. Wonderful. What else? A series of workshops, somehow close. LT. Oh yeah, learning technologies, special interest group in TESOL. Yeah, I'm no longer a volunteer there, but let me tell you a surprise. Not Nile TESOL, Educast International have 5 special interest groups. And if you want to know more about this, you can go to my Facebook page or Educast Facebook page or my internet website. Okay, very good. Let's move to 11. What does this tell you about me? Yes, that's right. I've been working for about 11 years. I've been in this field for 11 years, and this is the 12th year. Yes, that's right. So, guys, again, this is Mo or Mohammad Nabil, and I'm an educational consultant, a teacher educator, and conference and events planner. And if you want to know more about me, you can scan this QR code to go my Facebook page. Okay, very good. Let's get started. So again, today we're going to be talking about podcasts and the benefits of podcasts in education and teacher education. So let me start first with this question, and I want you to look at it carefully. How much time do you dedicate for your professional development every week? Could you please drop your answers in the chat box? So, yes, Ms. Nuran says 4 hours. Mrs. Nasreen says it depends. Yeah. Mark says a few hours. Ms. Marwa says not less than 7 hours. Wow, that's good. What about the rest? What about the rest? All the time. Yeah, I know that you're diligent, Raga. Yeah, I know that. What about the rest? Okay, maybe an hour every day. That's good. Yes, that's right. Very good. Okay, great. So guys, professional development is really important for teachers because, we are in a very big learning experience and we have to keep learning every day. And if you don't learn every day, you will never progress. You will never make any progress. So Ms. Gihad says an hour. Ms. Ala says an hour daily. Ms. Asma says in vacation every day. That's wonderful. Very good. Yeah, Ms. Sarah says an hour. That's wonderful. Okay. So what type of resources do you use for your professional development? What do you use? How do you develop professionally? Do you listen to something? watch something, attend something, read something? What do you do? Yeah, very good. Attending lectures, YouTube and webinars, online courses, open courses. Very good. That's from Rana. Webinars, YouTube videos, taking courses, reading English novels, reading YouTube videos, reading PDFs. The chat, is going crazy. Thanks a lot. I cannot read everything. Lectures and courses, attending lectures, hearing your podcast. Well, that's very good to me. You pleased me. TEDx lectures, read researchers, listening to BBC. That's wonderful, very wonderful ideas. So, guys, now we're in the new normal. Everything is right there on the internet. Okay, you have different things to do. You have a variety of things. You have a variety of options. If you want to develop professionally, you can go to YouTube. There you can find videos, educational videos about accents, about language, about teacher training, about different things. Anything you want to learn about, you can find it on YouTube, and it's completely for free. You only need you know what an internet connection. Yeah, that's right. Okay, very good. And you can also watch webinars, just like this wonderful one. You know, and I really like this initiative from Mr. Hamraim and Lit's Academy. That's a wonderful one to gather teachers from every part, in Egypt or maybe outside Egypt to be here, to listen to teacher trainers and teachers sharing their expertise with them. Very good. Okay, great. And what about number three? Number three here is, attending online gatherings, online conferences, and maybe on-site conferences like Nile TESOL Arabia. We have many conferences happening every day around the world. Yeah, that's right. Very good. Okay, and what else? The fourth picture, yeah, it's really familiar. People use books. Yeah, people use books to read about teaching. They want to learn about how to teach skills, systems. They want to know about the latest trends in education and teaching. Yes, that's right. Okay, and also blogs. Blogs are very important. I know a blog for Rachel Tsatiri, a friend, a teacher trainer, from Greece. She has the Tifl Zone blog. Sandy Millen, the Delta tutor, the famous Delta tutor, she has a very wonderful, blog. You can find, different topics about teacher training or teaching there. That's right. Very good. Okay. And also a very important part, which is courses. Yeah. So if you want to develop professionally, yeah, we have Sandy Millen and Rachel Satiri for Miss Russia. Okay. Very good. Okay. And again, courses, whether online, face-to-face, courses are really important to develop professionally. Whether you have taken courses before with Mr. Mohammad Nabil is a wonderful teacher trainer, whether you're taking courses before with open courses, courses funded by Relo, courses all over the internet. Yeah, I myself provide teacher training courses. Very good. And again, we have podcasts. Yeah, just like my podcast, and it's not the only one. The British Council has a very wonderful podcast. People listen to podcasts to work on the language, like the BBC podcast, 6 Minute English, and so on. There are different podcasts here and there. You can listen to them to develop professionally. And last but not least, social media platforms. This is where we met each other, on Facebook, WhatsApp groups, teaching communities, in websites, Telegram channels, YouTube channels, and Instagram. People use Instagrams these days to publish or share their videos about teaching contents and so on. So you can use all of these resources to develop professionally. And of course, we have many others. So today we're going to be talking about podcasts. Yes, that's right, Ms. Sarah. TikTok is a wonderful one. And Let's Academy channel on Telegram is a wonderful resource too. Voice of America, The resources are, numerous. So today we're going to be talking about podcasts in teacher education. So let's start first with talking about what a podcast is, and then why podcasts, and we will end our presentation with how to create your own podcast. Yes, you can be podcasters too. I'm going to be telling you all about it today. Okay, very good. So in the chat box, I want you to drop your definition of the word podcast. What is a podcast? A learning tool. That's good, Mr. Mohammed. I'm still looking at the chat box. A live audio channel, that's wonderful. An audio that is mostly offering authentic material for many purposes. That's wonderful. Using an audio script, lectures, sessions, which depends mainly on the listening skill. Wonderful. To teach some points, that's really great. So yes, you have some idea about a podcast or what a podcast is. So Cambridge, in Cambridge Business English Dictionary, a podcast is a radio program that is stored in a digital form that you can download from the internet and play on a computer, a laptop, on an MP3 player, or on your cell phone. Yes, that's right. Okay, so you can listen to it whenever you are and wherever you are. But what about podcasts in educational contexts? Because podcasts can not only be for educational purposes, or teaching and teacher training. What about podcasts for teacher education or for education? They are wonderful input, a great idea. They provide lectures, book summaries. That's wonderful. Great ideas from everyone in the chat box. Okay. Like what? We'll talk about that today. So podcasts in teacher education, offer a lot. They support learning inside and outside the classroom because you can play podcasts in your classes, whether online or face to face, or even you can tell your students to go home and listen to this podcast. You can even follow a more flipped classroom approach. Tell the students to listen to a podcast, write down some notes, and come to the classroom on the next day to discuss them, right? So they support the learning process. So podcasts in education are also offer new materials. You can use them as listening lessons, right? Okay, guys, now listen to this podcast and answer these questions. Okay, so you can use them also to explain concepts, new concepts. You can use them to, set a context, a powerful context, like the videos you use at the beginning of your lessons, like the warmers at the beginning of your lessons. Okay, that's right. You can, use podcasts to explain concepts. You can use them to provide examples of something that you're teaching to your students. You can also use podcasts to open discussions with the students, whether they agree or disagree with the points mentioned in the podcast. Okay, you can also use podcasts to review topics. Okay, you taught a lesson on the first day and you want to revise it or review it at the end of the month. Okay, so you can play it again to remind the students with the points taught on the first day of the academic year. Okay, so that's a wonderful use of podcasts. You can also use podcasts to engage learners because they are not only listening, they are listening and doing a task. They are listening for a reason. They are listening to learn, maybe to learn something, to apply something, to discuss something, or do a task while listening. Okay, so this is the meaning of podcast or the uses of podcasts in education. Okay, but so podcasts in the context of teacher education is an audio recording that is used to supplement learning in the classroom. Again, it's supporting to the learning experience in the classroom. They can be used to introduce new materials, explain concepts, provide examples, stimulate discussions, review previously discussed topics. They are a great way to engage students and make lectures more dynamic and engaging, as they can be used to present content in an interactive and entertaining format. And today I'm going to be telling you all about it, how you can make podcasts interactive and engaging. So this is regarding, the educational process inside the classroom. But, how can we use podcasts in professional development for teachers? We talked about the classroom experience. What about teachers? What do you think of, the purpose of using podcasts or the benefits of using podcasts in developing professionally? I'm looking at the chat box. Teacher, get acquainted with the latest norms and trends. That's a wonderful point. Yeah, a great idea. Improve listening skills for teachers. Yes, teachers also need to be working on their language skills. Very good. Also, listening helps to improve language fluency. That's right. Very good. Any other ideas? I'm still looking at the chat box. It helps to improve all learning skills. Good. It's a wonderful for modeling pronunciation. That's wonderful. Great job, Miss Marwa. Mr. Ham says improving listening and as a result, the speaking skill. That's right. They are somehow connected. And Miss Marwa says she uses it for speaking activities. Wonderful. Engagement of technology. Yes, that's right. Okay. But, we're talking about the benefits here. Okay. So podcasts are always available. Okay. Since you have internet connection, you can find them. You can find them there somewhere on the internet, right? They are always available. All topics are available there, you know? Yeah. So the flexibility is one of the privileges and the benefits of using podcasts because, the students can listen to the podcasts synchronously or asynchronously. They can, they can listen to live podcasts or previously recorded ones. Like this one, this webinar, we can have it as a kind of interview with Mr. Mohammed. He might be asking me some questions and I'm gonna answer his questions. Okay, that's a live one. But we can record it, and upload it to the internet, and everyone in the world can, get access to it. And this can lead us to the next step, which is accessibility. Anyone in the world can access podcasts. They are everywhere on YouTube, on websites, on music platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, everywhere. And last but not least, the engagement. But again, be careful because, some podcasts might not be very engaging for all learners. Yes, the engagement is or it depends on you as a teacher because when you ask the students to listen to a podcast or ask the trainees to listen to a podcast, they are expected to be listening for a reason, right? Listening to do a task or to open a discussion or something like that. But again, these are the benefits of podcasts. But what about the drawbacks? Because everything in the world has benefits and drawbacks, advantages and disadvantages, right? That's right, Miss Wamra. Yeah, that's right, Miss Marwa. Great. You can test them first and see if they are suitable. So some of the drawbacks of using podcasts in education or teacher education is the engagement. The students aren't always engaged, you know, since we all have different learning styles. Okay, some people have difficulties in listening because they cannot, focus while only, during listening only. They need, something written in front of them. Yes, that's right. They are full passive listeners. They are only listening. They are not doing something. Yes, that's right. It suits auditory learners. Very good. But again, podcasts can be in the form of videos, not only audios, right? And yes, that's right, Mr. Ron. It depends on the topic that they will listen to. And again, it lacks interaction because, you're listening or watching to people talking about something and you're just sitting, in your room, on your chair in the classroom, and you're just listening. You're not, interacting with them. So this is one of the drawbacks. Okay. One more thing, the time. Okay. And podcasts might be time consuming, right? Some podcasts, might be of 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Can a teacher play a podcast in the classroom of 45 minutes? Can you do this? Of course not. So it might be somehow time consuming. That's right. It's a waste of time. Okay. And again, because it depends mainly on the internet, we might always face technical difficulties, whether the internet connection gets broken, whether, there is a problem with the mic, just like what happened with me at the beginning of the webinar. Yes, that's right. So they might always be or they might always have technical difficulties. So these are some of the drawbacks of podcasts. Okay, so now let's dive deeper into the process of using podcasts and teacher development, professional development for teachers. And since you came up with some ideas about how teachers can develop professionally using podcasts, let me share with you some ideas. So as you can see in these two pictures, these are two of my podcasts. The one on the left was the start of Educast. It was Educast podcast, and I used it to summarize teacher training books for teachers. Imagine yourself listening to a book or a summary of an important book that you don't find, enough time because of your job and demanding duties to read it. You're having a summary, you're learning while driving, you're learning while doing anything else. And again, let me tell you, women won't only be the multitaskers here, because yes, they are better at multitasking, but podcasts might make you able to be a good multitaskers. Yes, you might be studying something, writing something, and listening to a podcast. So this is called multitasking. You can learn on the go. Do you need to plan for it? No. Okay. So podcasts might also offer an exposure to multiple perspectives, like what happens in Educast podcast. Let me tell you a little bit about this podcast. In this podcast, I interviewed one of the most well-known people in the world in our field, Scott Thornberry. He was the first interviewee. He was talking about teaching methods. So you don't have to wait all the time to attend a webinar organized by some place to see him or listen to him or to learn from him. No, you can use podcasts to learn from him. I also had Dr. Stephen Krashen, the famous linguist, in an interview. I interviewed Emily Bryson, who is famous for graphic facilitation and works for National Geographic Europe. I interviewed Gulbin Özdemir Altigöz, a famous teacher from Turkey. I interviewed Dr. Tom Godfrey, the director of ITI Istanbul. I I interviewed, the famous Dr. Ron Moran, the famous and expert in education and, the educational consultant at Educast International and Syntax Solutions. So in this podcast, you can listen to everyone, from every part of the world while being in the comfort of your home. And also, I interviewed, the famous materials writer, John Hughes, Catherine Billsborough, and the author or the co-author of the CELTA book for Cambridge, Sandy Millen. So here you can get exposed to multiple perspectives, people who have taught in different teaching contexts, who have different perspectives, different beliefs, different ideas from just one resource. So again, podcasts are very important if you want to learn from leaders in ELT from different parts of the world. You can get some innovative ideas, like the podcast that Harry Waters has. It's about sustainability in ELT. Protecting the world while teaching our students something good. You can get exposed to different topics. There are some topics and trends in teaching and teacher training that we cannot access in any place except in podcasts. Okay, so you can get exposed to global education trends and practices. You can get inspired by the ELT experts. You can get inspired by the idea of the podcast itself. You can see me, I have a podcast, and we also have Listen Plan Jam podcast. Okay, so you can get inspired. You can have your own podcast. And also podcasts help teachers for personal and professional growth. It works on your growth mindset. It helps you learn from everyone. So again, as you might have seen, we have different benefits of podcasts in the classroom for the learning process or for education in general and for professional development for teachers. So how to create your own podcast? And I know many of you would ask this question. Okay. How to create your own podcast? Have you ever asked yourselves this question? Today, I'm going to be telling you all about it. Okay. So again, my podcast is on Spotify and YouTube. Okay. But again, in order to be a podcaster, it's so easy. If you have a YouTube channel, you can just, shoot yourself. Okay, shoot a video using your cell phone and upload it to the internet. Okay, go live on Zoom with someone else, talk about something and upload it to the YouTube channel. Okay, or you can upload your content on Spotify podcast here, which is very important and easy to use. So before finishing this, I just would like to share something with you. Just a second. I hope you can still see the screen. Yeah. So that's my podcast on Spotify. Everyone, can you see this website? Yeah, very good. So this is my podcast, Educast podcast, that is available on Spotify and 2 other platforms, and I think they are Google Podcasts and Anchor. Okay. So there are, 21 episodes in this podcast. And as you can see, you can, get to know the analytics of your podcast. You can see how many people listen to your podcast, maybe in the last 30 days or all the time. Okay. And to my surprise, when I looked at the audience, I found out that I've been followed, or my podcast has been followed by 70 countries. People from 70 countries are listening to my podcast, you know. So again, podcasts are a way to communicate with other people, to get your voice be heard, around the world. And again, in the chat box, no worries about anything. I'm going to be sharing the links for everything, after the webinar or by the end of the webinar. And here you can, see the platforms people are listening on Spotify, on Anchor, on Google Podcasts, on the web browser. And here you can find your episodes, the length, the format, because you can upload videos, not only audios, how many times are they played, look here, the date of publish or publishing, the ads on the podcasts. Okay, so you can get to know everything here. And this is a wonderful update from Spotify. You can have the learners, whether they are students or teachers or trainees, interact with the podcast. So, for example, the one here with Mr. Sameh Ibrahim about accents. Okay, he's from Egypt. At the end of the podcast, I put a question here: which is more important, language level or mastering an accent? And there is a person who answered it here. Okay, he said that it was the language level that is more important. So yes, you can assign tasks. You can put questions and put some choices for the people to, yeah. Of course, language level is more important. Okay, and this is a place where you can get money for your podcast, but this is only limited for the people who are from the United States. But I think they are working on expanding this to other countries. Okay, and if I want to upload a new episode, I can, create a new episode here or a quick upload. For example, that's a video or an audio. Okay, and I have to click OK, and then it will be uploaded. And then, I can put the cover art or the picture or the banner for the podcast, and we're done. But again, how can you create your own podcast? I'm gonna be logging out of my account and show you the steps of creating your podcast. Okay, you might have some wonderful ideas to share with others, not only in Egypt, with everyone around the world. Okay, let me just a second. Anchor.fm. Yeah, that's right, it's here. Okay, yeah, so apparently I cannot look into, but just a second. Yeah, look out from here. Very good. Yeah, so here you can click on sign up on the right corner on top of the page, sign up, and choose whether you want to start a podcast or you have a podcast. Okay, so we will choose I want to start the podcast. Write your full name, the email address, the password, your date of birth, and then you will click on agree here and click on sign up, and then you have. So it's that easy. Okay, guys. So once you have an account, again, you can follow the same steps. You can click on upload new episode and choose an audio file from your desktop or from your PC. Choose a banner and then write the information about the podcast or the episode, and then it's there on the internet, and you can use the link to share it everywhere. Okay, so let me get back again to our presentation, because this is really important, and this is somehow relevant to what Mr. Mohammad Ibrahim said at the beginning of the webinar, and this is something that I really believe in. I'd rather be a comma than a full stop. So of course we know that a full stop ends a statement, but a comma, you know, has the possibility of adding more information, adding more achievements, adding more ways to do things, you know. So this was said by Chris Martin, a British singer from Coldplay, my favorite band. So thank you everyone for your attention. I was really honored and glad to have had you in today's webinar.